Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Julianne, and I'm your host. This is your teacher, Tiffany. Today we will learn about the largest group of animals on Earth, the insect.
Today's lesson is titled, Friend or Foe. I am so excited to learn even more about what we've been studying, insects. Last time we learned beetles are the largest group of insects. Today we learn more about the relationship between insects and humans.
By the end of today's lesson, we will accomplish 4 goals. They are: identify the main topic of friend or foe, then describe connections between actions taken by humans and the extinction of some insects, and finally, use antonyms, foe and friend, appropriately in oral language.
Today's read aloud is friend or foe. The word foe means enemy or opponent. What do you guys think the title of this read aloud means, and why do you think it will make the main topic of the read aloud for today? This anchor chart may help us figure out the main topic. Let's read it. Good readers can identify the main topic. The main topic is what is next in the text and what it is mostly about. Clues. What is the text mostly about? Look at titles and headings. Our text today doesn't have the features, but this is a good clue to know. Look at pictures. Sometimes the main topic is stated in the first or last sentence. And our 5th clue, look for clue words that are used repeatedly. Knowing our title, Friend or Foe, what could the main topic be today? What do you think, Miss Julianne?
Miss Tiffany, I know the word friend means someone I enjoy spending time with. Does foe mean the opposite? Someone who might be an enemy? So maybe our main topic is about a friend or enemy.
Great job using your background knowledge to answer that. We will also learn about one of the world's biggest insects, foes, or enemies, human beings. In our lesson today, we will listen carefully to find out what human beings are doing to harm insects and why this matters. Before we begin, let's go over our 5 vocabulary words. Our first word is entomologist. Miss Julianne, can you say it with us?
Entomologist.
How many symbols are in entomologist? Yes, 5. An entomologist is one who studies insects. Let's use it in a sentence. The entomologists traveled to rainforests worldwide to compare the different kinds of insects living with each other. Miss Julianne, have you ever met an entomologist?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. I would love to meet one day. Our next word is extinction. Repeat after me. Extinction. How many syllables are in extinction? Extinction. Yes, 3. Extinction is the dying out of a species until it no longer exists. Let's try to use it in a sentence. Some scientists believe that the extinction of the dinosaurs occurred many millions of years ago. Miss Julianne, can you think of any animals that have been through extinction?
I can. The dodo bird.
That's right, the dodo bird. Our next word is foe. Repeat after me. Foe. That is an easy one. How many syllables are in foe? That's right, only 1. A foe is an enemy or an opponent. Let's use it in a sentence. The Athenians and Spartans of ancient Greece fought together against their foe, the Persian emperor. Miss Julianne, can you think of any insect that might be considered a butterfly's foe?
A lizard or frog.
That's right, the lizard or frog. Next is pesticides. Repeat after me. Pesticides. How many syllables are in pesticides? Pesticides. There are 3. Pesticides are substances used to destroy insects that threaten the life or health of plants and animals. Let's use it in a sentence. Some people prefer to eat organic plants because they are not sprayed with chemical pesticides. So, Ms. Julianne, do you think it's safe to handle pesticides without an adult?
No, I do not think that is safe.
I don't think that's very safe either. And last, our vocabulary word for today is pollinators. Repeat after me. Pollinators. How many syllables are in pollinators? Pollinators. Yes, there are 4. Pollinators are insects that carry pollen from one plant to another, a necessary act for new plants. Let's use it in a sentence. Bees and butterflies are both important pollinators, collecting pollen from one plant and depositing it into another. I just love pollinators because they have such an important job. We are about to read now. This is told from a special lady's point of view. She will explain the text. Remember to listen carefully to find out what human beings are doing to harm insects and why this matters. Hi, boys and girls. Surprised to see me? I'll bet you were expecting another fabulous insect. Disappointed to see a fellow human being? I have been fascinated with insects ever since I was in 2nd grade. So I wanted to let you know that if you are like me, you might be lucky enough to keep learning about insects your whole life. I am an entomologist, and studying insects is my job. Some people call me the bug lady, but I study much more than bugs. When I was your age, I called everything that creeps and crawls or buzzes and flies a bug. Do you do that sometimes too? Lots of people do. But did you know that a bug and an insect are not the same thing? A bug is an insect, but not all insects are bugs. Confusing, isn't it? Scientists identify true bugs and insects with beak-like mouths. These piercing, sucking mouth parts allow the insect to pierce the leaf or stem of a plant and suck out the plant juices inside. Let's look at a few bugs. This is a stink bug. This is a bed bug. Tree hoppers and aphids are bugs too. Here's one you should recognize. A cicada. Look closely. If you see one of these bugs outside, you may see its long, piercing mouth parts. This is another familiar insect. What is it called? Right, a ladybug. It's called a bug, but is it? Does it have a beak-like mouth with a long, piercing tube? No. Fascinating, isn't it? A ladybug isn't a bug at all. I thought you should know about bugs, but the real reason I'm here today is to talk to you about helpful and harmful insects. I'll start with the bad news. You already know that some plant-eating insects cause major crop damage.
Fun fact, what is the word used to describe something that causes major damage or harm? Yes, destructive.
Leafcutter ants can strip the leaves from an orange grove in one night. A swarm of locusts or large grasshoppers can strip large areas of grasslands in just a few hours. Fruit flies or orchid pests as well. The larvae of many moths, flies, bugs, beetles, and weevils are pests too. The Colorado potato beetle is another example of an insect that damages crops.
Fun fact, adults and larvae eat the leaves of the potato plant. Damaged plants cannot produce as many potatoes.
So what is the solution? Humans thought that they had a great idea. They created poisonous substances called pesticides that would kill all the insect pests on the whole field so the crops could grow without being eaten. But there was a problem with that. Do you think the pests were the only animals living on the field? It turns out that the pesticides can be just as big as a problem as the pests themselves. These poisons destroy both harmful and helpful insects. Frogs and birds may eat the poisoned insects and become sick. They may even die. Pesticides have killed pollinators like honeybees.
Fun fact, pollinators are insects that carry pollen from one plant to another to enable plants to grow and produce flowers or fruit.
Without pollinators, plants cannot make seeds to grow new plants or produce fruits. With fewer plants, fewer insects can survive. So, you see, the humans' use of pesticides changes the environment for everyone, and not in a good way. Because of this, you can see how a person can be a foe or enemy of insects. A better solution, and one that is being used by many farmers today, is to keep plant pests under control by introducing their natural enemies, one insect against the other. Ladybugs and lacewings are predators that catch and eat aphids. Wasps and ants eat insects harmful to crops as well. Doesn't it make better sense to use animals to control the growth of pests and weeds instead of poisonous chemicals that kill all living things? I think so. I do have a little bit more bad news for you. Before I get to the good news, some insects can be dirty. They can spread germs. When flies, ants, and cockroaches walk across the kitchen or countertops with the same feet they use to crawl through dirt and rotting plants, they can poison our food and make us sick. Some insects, such as mosquitoes, fleas, bedbugs, and lice, live off host animals.
Fun fact, you heard about host plants. What is a host animal? An animal that provides food for another animal that lives on it. People can be host animals.
These type of insects can be very harmful to people. The Anopheles mosquito carries malaria, a deadly disease that has wiped out whole villages in Africa. Hundreds of years ago, fleas that carry deadly bacteria spread the plague. A disease that killed many of millions of people, or almost 1/3 of Europe. Today, fleas are more irritating than deadly. That's enough bad news. Are you ready for some good news? There's lots of it. You already know how important honeybees and other plant pollinators are to the survival of the planet. Without pollinators, there would be no beautiful flowers or sweet fruit because the crops would not be pollinated, and the crops need to be pollinated in order to grow. Scavenger insects like the dung beetle are important too. By feeding on dead plants and animals, their waste products, scavengers break up dead materials and return rich nutrients to the soil. Insects are also responsible for many products that humans use. What product does the honeybee give us? Yes, honey. They also give us beeswax, used to make wood polishes and candles, and even lipsticks. And did you know that the spider is not the only creature that spins silk? Many other insects produce silk as well. The silk moths lay its eggs on the leaves of mulberry trees. Their larvae, silk caterpillars, spin cocoons out of a single strand of silk. The silk from their cocoons is gathered and unwound to produce beautiful silk threads used to make cloth. You know that insects are a food source for other insects and animals. But did you know that many people eat insects as well? Lightly salted crickets are eaten as snacks in many parts of Asia. Roasted grasshoppers with chili and lime are popular in Mexico. Roasted termites are a part of the regular diet of many Africans. Some Australians feast on beetle larvae, and some Europeans enjoy the sweet crunch of chocolate-covered ants. You know that insects make up the largest group of animals on Earth. Their ability to adapt over time to nearly every environment has made them terrifically successful survivors on the planet.
Fun fact, what does the word adapt mean? Yes, change for different situations.
Whereas we think that humans have been around for about 40,000 years, some scientists believe that insects have lived on Earth for about 400 million years. They are the most varied of all animals, coming in all shapes, colors, and sizes. Scientists guess that there are over 1 million species, but it's hard to know for sure because it is impossible to count them, as they all crawl, fly, swim, and hide all around the world. Even with all these millions and billions and trillions of insects, some are in danger of extinction or disappearing from the earth. How can that be? It happens when many insects are killed at the same time. We humans are insects' worst enemies because we often destroy their native habitats.
Fun fact, what is the word you heard a few minutes ago that means enemy? Yes, foe.
For example, huge areas of rainforest that have been cleared.
You may have learned about the rainforest in a previous lesson.
When trees are cut down for wood, all the plants are removed and the insects that live on the plants are destroyed. Insects and other animals not only destroy animal habitats, but also very quickly use up all the water that the desert's insects need to survive. Grasslands are often cleared for planting crops. When the grassland host plants disappear, their visiting insects cannot survive. Water is often drained from the wetlands to build farms, homes, and roads. When this happens, fertilizers from the farm's fields often run into wetlands and encourage plants there to grow out of control. They soak up all the water and the wetland dries up. So, why do you think it matters whether insects become extinct? Isn't it good to kill off those often pesky, sometimes deadly critters? I don't think so. Think about the honeybee. It may sting you, but a moment's pain is nothing compared to all the benefits it provides by helping to pollinate plants and produce fruits or other foods that you need to survive. We still have a lot to learn about the insect world, but we do know that everything in our world is connected and that plants and animals depend upon one another for survival. We do not want to upset the balance of nature. Now that you know the important insects are to the world, I hope that you will think twice before squashing a bug beneath your feet. I encourage you to use your own schoolyard to look for insects and spiders. You might look under lots of places, under a rock, in the grass, on bushes and trees, on flowers, and in the soil. Remember, many insects are very good at camouflage, so don't give up. They may be hiding in plain sight. Now that we have read about insects and whether they are friends or foes, from an entomologist's point of view, let's see what you remember. Try to answer my questions in a complete sentence. Julianne will help us out. What is the main topic of today's read aloud? let's revisit our anchor chart as we think of the answer. Remember, some of our clues to identifying the main topic are, what is the text mostly about? Look at pictures. Sometimes the main topic is stated in the first or last sentence. And look for clue words that are used repeatedly. So, what do you think the main topic of today's read aloud is?
How people can harm the habitat of insects and contribute to their extinction.
That's right. Who is the narrator of today's read aloud?
An entomologist, or someone who studies insects narrated in the story.
Sure did. What are the characteristics of a bug?
The characteristics of a bug are a beak-like mouth and triangular head.
Correct. What is the plane in this image doing and why?
The plane is spraying crops with pesticides to kill pests that may destroy the crops.
Julianne, you are on a roll. What do you think will happen to this field of crops?
Pests will die. This will affect the food chain and will kill more animals than the insects that the pesticide was intended to kill.
Yes. You heard in the read aloud that people can be foes or enemies to insects. How are insects foes to people?
Insects can destroy crops, they carry diseases, and they can cause injury.
Julianne, you really paid attention to our story today. Now we will move into the word work section of our lesson, where we'll take a deeper look at some words. The read aloud gave us so much information about friends or foes, the insects. When reading and listening, we heard, because of this, you can see how a person can be a foe or enemy of insects. Say the word foe with me. Foe. Foe means enemy or opponent. When a person tries to kill insects, he becomes the insect's foe. What are some of the ways an insect can become a foe to people?
An insect can become a foe to people by spreading diseases and destroying crops.
So, what is the word we've been talking about?
Foe.
Yes, foe. What part of speech is the word foe?
A noun.
How do you know it's a noun?
I know because a noun is a thing.
Great job. Also, an antonym, or the opposite of a foe, is a friend. Now I'm going to describe some interactions between people and animals. If the person or animal acts like an enemy or an opponent, say, that person or animal is a foe. If the person or animal acts like a friend, say, that animal or person is a friend. The tiger attacked the antelope.
The tiger is a foe.
The mother cuddled her newborn baby.
The mother is a friend.
The boys and girls played on the playground together.
The boys and girls are friends.
The Persians battled the Spartans in ancient Greece.
They are foes.
Sally gave Isaac a balloon on his birthday.
Sally is a friend.
Well, you sure have gotten a lot of concepts of friends or foes, and we have learned about identifying main topics and a lot about the relationship between humans and insects. Great job, everyone. All rights and credits from this lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them for publicly sharing these materials. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Share what you've learned today. Tell someone at home how people are friends or foes to insects.